So, a little bit of what's going on lately since I ain't been riding because it's February 9th. Haven't ridden since a couple weeks before Christmas, I think. Still a lot of snow on the ground. It's still frozen. It's about, what is it? It is 7:23 at night, and it is currently 29 degrees outside. Starting to warm up a little bit, so pretty soon here we're going to be doing some riding. Hopefully the snow melts off quick. But yeah. Sorry, the 89's still a little dirty. I did a no-no and I didn't wash her before putting her away from the last ride. But yeah, this is the 89. Bought this bike from the original owner in 2009 for $1,100. Can't do that no more. She was super clean when I bought her. I don't think there was a scratch on the swing arm. Still pretty clean, but I ride the shit out of this bike. This is my rider. And she's been through a lot. It's got a 04 450 complete front end on it. Been through the motor quite a few times. I think I've done, 3, 4, 5 rods on it. Still the stock crank, run Pro X rods. Got a couple different cylinders. Had an 87 head on it. Stock reed cage with Boysons. 38 PWK carb. Quad vent, air striker. Race Tech rear spring. It's a 96 and newer. It's got the high speed. Oh yeah, fatty pipe. Turbine core. 2 muffler. With the Porter mod. Little top secret modification. Yep. The 89. My baby right there. Love this bike. Love it. Then you got the 92. Got her all set back up for the hill climb season. Hoping to run some of the Naha events. Got her long with a paddle. Try some different gearing. Just put a new carb on it. And back to the stock reed cage. Got rid of that crappy Boyson rad valve. That thing's actually got a new crank and bearings, tranny bearings, everything in it. It's got probably around 15 or 20 hours because it doesn't really get ridden as much as the 89. It's got an 85 head on it, so she's got some compression. Likes the 110 race gas. Carnegie bred, baby. Yeah, I just had to go through the 89 motor too. I just did a top end on it, and probably a month later, the bearing right behind the clutch, which is, I guess that's the counter shaft or the main shaft. Main shaft, one of those two. Got a brain fart right now, but that bearing took a shit. There was lots of metal in the whole tranny, so it's got 2 rides on it, I think, since I put all new tranny bearings in that thing too. Yeah, 92. I think I picked it up in 2012 for, I think the guy wanted $1,400, and I talked him, gave him $1,250. And it's in pretty good shape. It's pretty clean, but wasn't that clean when I bought it. It had all that faded pink plastic on it. And then we got the rat bike build going on. I picked this bike up from Ben Elwes a few years ago. It's just been sitting, so I figured I'd toss it together. Used to be Rich Villar's hill climb bike from the Rat Beach racing crew. And we still got the vintage sticker on there. I thought I'd preserve that. Kind of cool. Yep. 94. Instead of making the frame all fancy and spending a bunch of money on it, I've been building this bike out of pretty much spare parts other than new head bearings, new swing arm linkage bearings. Front forks are all rebuilt with heavy Race Tech springs. I think they're .48s. I think they were the heaviest you could get from them. Yeah, and instead of doing the frame, I actually left a little bit of surface rust on there and put a little touch on it of my own with a torch, and then clear coated the shit out of it. It's also got a 96 or newer rear shock, high speed adjustment, Race Tech spring on there, all rebuilt, new bumper, everything. Chassis is pretty much done on this bike. Just need a couple things, chain slider. I got to get some radiator hoses, put brake fluid in it and bleed the brakes, and then tighten a few things up because some stuff's just kind of snug. Yeah, I got a 90 motor and electronics that's going to go in that thing. It's going to be pretty sick. Can't wait. About to start building the motor pretty soon here. Just waiting on the machine shop guy to get back from Arizona because he goes down there for the winter. He should be back in March, mid-March or so, hopefully. Get him to bore the cylinder, put a new rod on my crank, and then I'll assemble that motor. It'll be all new trans bearings and everything too. Be a freshie. It's gonna be sick. Ain't gonna look the prettiest, but it's gonna be a runner. Yeah, that 500 life.